And that is more than enough prep time. Welcome back, everyone, to the Temple of Technology. I'm your host, Scott James Magner, the idiot with a microphone. I am the idiot, and this here is my microphone. You can barely see it in frame. In fact, every time I do this, I confirm my idiotness because I think, moved it out of position because there's a camera on this boom mount as well. So I am an idiot. I buy things online and I open them, and that means we are going to unbox. So a little prep time, not necessary. We've got it right here. We know what we're doing. Welcome back. So this is my desktop. This is a sit-to-stand desktop. It's a little higher than the normal bit of my desktop. I got about 2 inches of surface here, and in the back I've got my favorite tool in the universe, my leveling ruler. Serves me well for a number of different kinds of projects, and including giving you some kind of scale for when I unbox things. This is my second favorite tool in the universe. This is my pocket knife. It is a true Swiss Army knife. It has many a blade. I use 3 of them on a regular rotation, and one of them is my trusty 2-inch blade. So I use this thing to open boxes, and let's get to it. I buy a lot of mixed media, a bunch, and I get it for pennies on the dollar sometimes. Sometimes it's old, sometimes it's rare, and I don't get as good of a deal on the rare stuff, especially DVDs. But I do get a lot of good stuff really cheap. So I do this by haunting auctions on Facebook, eBay, swap sites, all over the place. I get a bunch of things. And lately, one of the things I like to do when I unbox something is to put it into another box. And I want to show you a picture on my Facebook stream, which I can do because I've got all sorts of happy stuff going on here. There we go. I'm just gonna roll this on over to my main monitor. Make sure these things all get locked down. Yeah. So we're gonna turn off the unboxing camera very briefly. You'll see my desktop, and I'm just gonna roll over this here. And this is me putting a bunch of James Bond movies into custom cases. And in particular, I did it over the course of many hours by printing out the new cover art, putting it in thinner DVD cases, and taking it out of the cases I had already had it in. You can see here, of course, this is the first 7 James Bond movies, which I had already collapsed into 3 cases. 2 3-disc sets and 1 normal 1-disc set. And so I didn't save a lot of space here when I put it into the 7s, but individually they fit on the shelf better, and I have better access to them. I don't have to move a whole bunch of discs to get to one movie when I want to watch a movie. And I did this for a variety of films. So here I put the DVD sleeves back in DVD cases so you get a better idea of scale. And here, these 3 take up more room than these 7. So, that's a big deal there. Next up was the Roger Moore stuff. Same sort of deal. I had the 2 3-disc sets. I picked them up for a song. I think they were like $10 each, right? They weren't that expensive. And here are they. There were 7 Roger Moore movies. I only had 6 of them on hand, which meant that I had to this one here, View to a Kill. I need to make it in advance anyway. And this is an idea of how we can get those things. These are the 2 movies I didn't own: View to a Kill, Never Say Never Again. I made sure I got copies of those coming towards me. It's the Timothy Dalton ones, right? And so I did this starting at 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., all the way up. This is an idea of how things look when you turn the cases around. And I had to give up around 8:30 in the morning. Just with this here, I've been at this 7:30 in the morning. I've been at this for many an hour, and I just couldn't. I couldn't keep at it. Right. Here, in fact, you can see my my desk surface there. There's the sit-to-stand desk surface up there, the lip of the desk itself there, where I've got my Mac peripherals, and then you can see the my pull-out keyboard tray where my PC peripherals go. And that's where my keyboard is right now, in fact. And I've got this mouse here on that mouse pad. Back at it a few hours later, I had 3 discs set for Pierce Brosnan. And then I didn't have a copy of Tomorrow Never Dies, oddly enough. So I took care of that problem, too. And here's the end result, right? You can see that I've got basic cases for all of the movies that I had, movies and sets that I had. I put an empty case in there for the movies I didn't have, and then you can see my second favorite tool in the universe weighing down the thin cases, because the spines, as you saw in the earlier picture, angle up at a different pitch when there's not enough plastic in there to really keep things together. But it takes me all the way through there, and that's all the way through Pierce Brosnan. You can see down in the corner that I had the Daniel Craig collection already on Blu-ray, and it was 4 Blu-rays, and it's in a nice tight container as it was. So, and this is back on the shelf there. You can see Daniel Craig collection here in the middle, and then next to it is the newest movie, No Time to Die, which I bought in a 3-disc set for not a lot of money. In fact, that's the thing to note when I talk about unboxings and trying to find deals. Sometimes it's better and cheaper just to buy something new, especially when you can get a Blu-ray for less than you can get a rare or out-of-print DVD. Sometimes you want the rare and out-of-print DVD, but other times you just kind of want something to fit on the shelf. And so that's what No Time to Die is doing there. It's just sitting on the shelf. And I could break that down into a smaller container. I can fit 3 discs in a slim 6mm case. In fact, I've got one of those cases right here I can show you. This is a 6mm case for a Blu-ray. It is tight. You buy these extra. You buy these rather outside of a normal DVD or Blu-ray purchase. And this is a normal 12mm Blu-ray case. These will come into play in just a bit, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. But that is all set up for what I'm doing today, because we are going to be opening packages that I bought and had sent to myself. And those packages in particular may well contain James Bond movies, because I was missing 3 movies. No problem. Nice to see you, Wes. And your text appears up on screen. That's wonderful. All right, so we're going to turn on the unboxing surface here. I'll be all Vanna White. I'm actually going to move up a little closer to the microphone. Not the microwave, but the microphone, so you can see my hands here on the desktop surface. All right, so I'm going to grab the first of the packages that arrived yesterday. I didn't have time. I really didn't feel like streaming last night. I had a long day at work. I had a bunch of chores and stuff to do, so I decided to just stay in and stay classy, like I'm doing tonight. But the first of those packages is an Amazon package. In fact, I got this Amazon package. I ordered it on that very long day of unboxing because I did not have a copy of Never Say Never Again. Now, I specifically... I remember this movie very well when it came out, because I had already... Actually, I remember seeing this movie after it came out. I was too young to truly appreciate this movie. But by the time I started watching James Bond movies, Roger Moore was James Bond. And I had very cool parents, more or less, who made sure that I got to see old movies. And so I got to see Dr. No and Goldfinger and all those fantastic Sean Connery James Bond movies. In fact, it was easier to see those on television than it was to see the brand new James Bond movies on television. Even though, they were, well, I didn't get to go to movies that often because I was a kid. Plus, I cracked my skull and had to stay inside for a year. That changes a lot of how you go to see the movies when you really, literally cannot leave the house or you might die. So, Never Say Never Again was one of my favorite James Bond movies as a child because I saw what I determined to be a superior James Bond in the Sean Connery version just before I even knew about George Lazenby. So we'll put that on the shelf. We'll talk about that later, or perhaps in a completely other stream, because one of the things I think I'm going to do now that I've got all these movies is, or rather that I'm getting all these movies and I'm having them all squared away, is I'm just going to do a Bond rewatch, a Bond marathon. So April might be the month of Bond for me because there's 25 movies and my birthday is on the 27th. So I'll just watch them one a day and then we'll comment on them the next day and see how they went. So this came from a used seller, a reseller rather. So this is a guaranteed good thing, and they've got it taped closed here, which is something neat that I see some sellers do. They put a little piece of tape here to close in the case when they ship it. I think I'm going to get some of these tape circles and start using them on DVDs that I ship out, because I trade DVDs that I have duplicates of. And during that process, what started me on the giant reboxing process over the weekend was that I had extra copies of Casino Royale, The World Is Not Enough, and I think it was, let me just go look here. Well, Not Enough, and yeah, and Die Another Day. I had extra copies of those. And so I wanted to compare the special features on the new versions that I had for those, meaning the Blu-ray and the special edition, the regular Ultimate editions that came in the Pierce Brosnan set, to see if they had all the same commentary track, special features, and they do not. So there are Ultimate editions rather than the Ultimate edition that it claimed to be that have all those things. And I got to thinking, well, if I've got the special features covered, I don't need the extra DVD. As you can see in my picture, bring that picture back over here. As you can see in this picture, there's not a lot of room on that shelf. In fact, this book was here, right at the beginning of this action adventure section. And I had to take that book out and put it up there because I added space when I moved things into individual cases. But I want to make sure I've got the best access and the best way to enjoy all this media. And that usually means having the best possible transfer of the film. And so this is not that film. The Blu-ray of Never Say Never Again is $100. It's out of print. It's extremely rare. And even the Region 2 ones, which I can play Region 2 movies, even those are $100. So Never Say Never Again on this used DVD was $16. And you know what I need? I need to not spend a lot of money on frivolous things. Now, as you're going to see, I have a lot of frivolous things in my home. But we've got this great... when DVDs first came out, they had these great books in them, right? Some cool stuff. All of the explanation here. Facts and trivia about the movie. Cool stuff that's going on in here. Yeah. So we're going to keep this paper because we can, and we're going to open this up, see if it's got scratches. There are no scratches on this DVD. It's a fantastic DVD. So I am going to put this in the special case that I put together over the weekend using these really nice custom cover art done by one of the creators that I like, named Motzi. He's a Scottish guy on the Custom Maniacs site. And so I'm just going to put that right in there. I use, these are 4mm cases. I usually use a 5, 6, or 7mm case to put things in, depending on the need that I have and how many discs I have to work with. Most of these slim cases that I have will hold 2 DVDs. This one only holds 1 DVD. And so, because it's a 4mm case, but I had 25, or 20 rather, I had 20 movies where I had 1 DVD. And I could easily put them in there. So Never Say Never Again is here. I've unboxed it. I have reboxed it. It's going to sit there staring at you because look at the twinkle in his eye. It's amazing. And compare and contrast, right? We've got the old 70s broccoli styling there. We've got kind of a faded movie poster style stuff. But these custom creators will take common elements and then make sure that every movie in the set has the same cover treatment. And this is before they were getting these giant mega sets out, like for the Bond 40th and 50th anniversary. I'm going to move camera 2 slightly. There. Tired of talking at my own ear. And now you can see me here doing more stuff. You can see the microphone, which is cool. I do like having the microphone in frame. And, my PC over yonder. It's important stuff. I built that PC myself. It works great. It's at this point, it's 3 years old. I am tempted to update the processor in it, but I went and checked the Windows 11 requirements, and all I had to do was tweak my BIOS slightly, and I can get Windows 11 on this machine. In fact, I am way above the min spec for Windows 11. So, in theory, I should be able to upgrade that when it comes out. I upgraded my Mac Mini, which you cannot see. I upgraded my Mac Mini to Monterey today, and I've got the 8 gig of RAM necessary to make Monterey work fine. It's a late 2014 with a big hard drive in it. It works fantastic for all of my book publishing needs. So having all my software updated means that I've got more options for what I can do and how I can do it. But you see that Kim Basinger here, this is the same art here. It's just been flipped and made to look great with the barrel rifling, the rifled barrel. And all the information is here on the back. You can find it in everything rather than being, hey, buy this thing, it looks great. So I much prefer to do custom cases for as many things as I possibly can. So we're going to put this over here for now, and we're going to go on to the next box that I've got. And this next box, I believe, came to me from eBay. Fairly sure it did. We're going to find out. So I have a pretty good idea of what this is. It could be, what I believe is in this envelope could be in a number of the packages that are down over here. But I believe that this specifically is going to be a Blu-ray set that I found online. And I'll tell you why this is significant, because I get big lots of DVDs and Blu-rays and other media on these auction sites. And sometimes there are just random discs included in there that were not part of what I ordered. And this is packaged very well, by the way. Look at all this. This extra bubble wrap on here. Lots of bubble wrap. You probably got a glimpse of what that was. But this is a standard patterned mailer that's been turned over and taped together. It's doing pretty good. This seller is definitely going to get an upvote from me. Sometimes there are extra Blu-rays or extra discs in a lot that weren't on the list of things that you paid for, and they sometimes don't come with cases, and they don't come with artwork, which is where I usually turn to the modding community, right? That does these bits of custom artwork so that I can have something I can put on the shelf and look at. And that's what happened about a year ago when I got a copy of this movie, which is god awful, and no one should actually buy this movie. It's awful. I got a copy of this movie, and I had resolved to stop hating things and try to give more things a chance. I knew this movie wasn't going to be any good. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it, and I really didn't enjoy this movie. I watched it in October of last year while I was at a writing retreat. I just needed some time to myself, and so I watched a couple of movies that I downloaded, and one of them was Venom. Another one, a couple were movies that I really liked. But Venom was on the list of things that I needed to watch. And I ended up buying this exact release of this movie on Amazon for $5. $5. And so a Blu-ray plus DVD plus the digital copy for $5, I couldn't pass that up. And it turns out that I found a copy of Venom in one of these lots that I bought. So I had 2 copies of Venom, and I thought, well, I'll print out a custom case, and I will put it on my DVD swap site, and somebody else can have the Blu-ray, and I'll get a little bit of credit for it, and I'll trade that Blu-ray in for other stuff that I want. And it turns out that the case, this is it right here, by the way. I put it in a very slim case here. I manipulated the image that I got, and it turns out that this UPC code here, this proof of purchase, is for a specific target release that had a Blu-ray, a DVD in it, and a digital copy. But all I had is this Blu-ray, right? In fact, I got basically this was a rental Blu-ray, I believe, because it's got this this sticker on here, and I couldn't swap this DVD. I couldn't swap this movie because I didn't have what the UPC said it was. And rather than go through a lot of hassle, I just kept this thing on the shelf sitting there for a while. So I was on eBay looking around for stuff, and I saw a lot of Venom plus another movie, but it was just the DVDs. Somebody had taken the Blu-rays out of the combo pack, and they had kept the Blu-rays. They probably put them in cases just like these, and they had the DVDs left over, and they were selling those DVDs for $8. 2 DVDs for $8 with no Blu-rays attached to them. And I said, you know what I need? I need a DVD of Venom so that I can swap that DVD and get it out there. So turns out that I did not have a copy of Dark Shadows. It's a bad movie. It's almost as bad as Venom. In some ways it's worse because it's got that Tim Burton-esque effect. But for $4, I got... Here's a digital copy of Venom. We'll put that in the case that we deal with over here. I got DVD of Dark Shadows and DVD of Venom. And that's what I needed to recreate this thing. So I went back to the files that I had downloaded to make this, because I had to reduce the spine to fit it into this 6mm case. And I reprinted it. I reprinted it with the full spine. But you could see it's the same art. It's the same UPC code. We're all ready to go. So you are going to watch me put this thing back together. And it's going to be DVD over there. Blu-ray over here. And the digital code that I don't need because I bought a digital code when I got my own copy. So I am just going to slip this here into the case, and now that's ready to be swapped. I can put that on the swap site, and it'll look great. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, what am I doing with this Dark Shadows, you might ask? I'm glad you asked, because the same site that gave me the Venom thing had a slim case set up for Dark Shadows. And you see there, that's the same cover art. It's just set up a little differently because this is for a Blu-ray and this is for a DVD. And you might ask, why not just put this back in that slim case I just took Venom out of and put it on the shelf? Because this is not a Blu-ray, this is a DVD. So I downloaded several custom covers to see which one I like better. And so this is the one. This is the main release DVD, right? And it's got all this information on the back about special features and all that kind of cool stuff. But this only matters if I'm going to be selling or reselling this disc, right? I don't need this UPC code. So I went and got a custom with more information on it, more stuff on the back. It looks good. In fact, the colors are a little better on this custom because they weren't mass produced and scanned. They were taken from promotional stills and everything, and it looks nice, right? This looks like a really nice release. I cut the spine down. This, in fact, is for a full-size DVD case. I did the same thing I normally do. I cut the spine down to about 60%, 50 to 60% usually does it to get the spine to line up right on the shelf. And that's what I'm going to have for that. So I am going to put my new... it's pretty scratched up, actually. Hopefully that's going to scan into my players. But it doesn't matter because it was $4, right? And if I hate it and it still plays, I just send it off to the swap site. So there's that. And there's always a bit of an art to how and when you print these things out, because if you print them out just a hair too big, it won't fit in the cases. So this is the first one I printed out yesterday, and you can see here that it is almost perfect, except it's a little too long. So if I was doing a full-size case for Venom, it would be fine, but I was doing a different case. Yeah, that might actually work. I might end up using this one anyway. We'll see. It's a little too long. It's a little too long to fit in the plastic sleeve that goes on the outside of the case. And I've messed around with a few templates, looking at various different ways to package these movies and get them squared away. So I've talked about the swap site a lot, and I'm actually going to show you the swap site that I use. It's completely free to swap movies with other people. And this site is called Swap a DVD, and I will show you how it works. So I have currently 95 discs posted up here on this site for a variety of things that I have just extra copies of. And so, or, you know, like Casino Royale, I got the full screen edition in a DVD lot. I didn't need it. I already had the widescreen edition, but now I've got the Blu-ray for this, and so I don't need either one of them. And if you go up here and look, you get information about the DVD. And so it's a whole big database, whole big good stuff going on here. It's on my tower, it says. There are 84 total copies of this movie on the DVD swap site. This was a very popular movie. There's a bunch of them sitting out there. Nobody actually wants it. I think everybody who wants James Bond movies already has a copy of this movie, which is not something that can be said about Never Say Never Again, because it's a very rare disc. It's out of print, and nobody wants to give them up. So there's nobody. There are 0 members looking for this, and there are 84 copies sitting on the site. If you want to look at the full screen edition, its details tell me that there are 40 copies of that floating out there, and also 0 people want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Venom. All right, Venom. That is not the movie that we were talking about. That's not the movie we were talking about. Turns out Venom was a very popular horror title for a long time. All right, so here's Venom Blu-ray. People are looking for that. Somebody's looking for that, so the odds are really high that if I put any of these out there, three people are looking for that. All right, I think we have an excellent chance of getting rid of this copy of Venom that I have no use for. Very excellent. So I'm going to go to the home section here, and I am going to my account, and I am going to post up DVDs. Here is a View to a Kill is coming to me. I swapped it out. I had a credit. I got a free copy of View to a Kill. I just said, hey, send this to me, and it did. And that's going to be a little funnier in a bit when I tell you what I have to tell you. All right, so I am going to enter this UPC code right here. UPC code into this database as follows. All right. Oh, really? That is not the one. That is not what I have here. Is that a different... Is it a different one than that one? Huh. Well, that's really interesting. That is not the UPC code it should have. So I'm going to get the right UPC. This is it right here. This is the one. So I want this UPC code, which is not available here, but I will get it. Because I have the Blu-ray DVD combo. That's not it. This worked out a lot better when the Blu-ray actually worked. The UPC code worked. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go downstairs and get that copy of it and bring that back up here and enter that code. So I'm going to be right back. Hold, please. Okay, here we go. Here is my copy of Venom, which is the one I think people are looking for. So I'm going to put this number in, and I will just send this one out and keep the other one. Oh, I forgot to put the 0 in there. Silly me. Look at that. Found a DVD, watching it. Number discs. First, I want that. I want to do that. I post that up. I'm able to post this DVD. There's already a request. Somebody wants this disc. And so, because I spent $4 on eBay to get this stuff squared away, it all now works. So if I look over here, this guy wants this. He wants it right now. So I can mail this. Yeah, sure. All right. All I got to do is print out the wrapper, send this guy on his way, and we'll be squared away. So I'm going to do that a little later. We'll keep this over here. Yeah, that's all I got to do. I'll just show you precisely what I'm going to do. In fact, we're going to go back to desktop. I have already put it into a slim case. And I've got this slim case here. So what I'm going to do is just take that, put it right there. Does everything I need to do. Put it right back on the shelf. And then over here, I should have thought of this before I wasted a bunch of paper, actually. Paper and ink, I might add. You know, it took more than one try to get everything right. And now it's presented in its original packaging. In fact, I just feel better about this if I put that Blu-ray there and keep this one. They are identical. There's no scratches on the bottom of that. This one's never even been played. I'm going to get 4 credits out of it. So, put that there. And so now, this fella in Cibolo, Texas is going to get this great Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy for free. He has 4 credits because he has swapped his own DVDs with other people all around the country. So this is going out tomorrow. What a great bargain to get all that just popped up just like that. I didn't even know there were people looking for this DVD. Sometimes I don't think about it. All right, so we got that there. Got this here. Don't need this. Wonderful. We are ahead of the game. I have spent money to make money. All right, and that's all I need to look at there. And we'll move this back over yonder. So the next package I've got, I believe, is the package that I got from Facebook. And I am fairly sure I know what is in this. I believe it is not DVDs, but CDs. And CDs are even more interesting to get because they don't travel well. They typically have to come in a heavily protected box like this Amazon box here. Someone has spent a lot of effort to make a shipping pouch out of tape and plastic. Don't need that tracking. In fact, this is the box that this other person got. This is why I use the knife for this sort of thing. They got this box shipped to them by somebody else. This could be a 3rd or 4th generation box. by the time it gets to me. This is the enduring power of cardboard. All right. So this is as I feared, or rather hoped. This is a lot of movie soundtracks, original movie soundtracks. But you can see here that it is packed for shit. So here's how it should be packed. Right? Stack up here, you got a lot of strength. But there was just one floating around in here, getting all banged up. So we are... It's not worth my time to go and yell at somebody or the fact that they can't pack a fucking box. But, come on. They came to you intact. You got to send them out intact. That's how this works. So, we got the Charlie's Angels soundtrack for the first Charlie's Angels movie. And I am actually going to check a different database to see if I have these or not. I'm going to go look at my Plex server, which is a personal media server that I run on a hard drive right here in my house. And I've got all my music up there. All the CDs that I've got. It's a lot. It's a couple thousand. Actually, it's more than a few thousand albums that I've got with a lot of multiple CDs per album. All right, and we are just going... In fact, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to drop... Come here, camera one. It's kind of high quality television my two viewers get when I'm on the screen. That's what I want to do right there. I am going to move that down over there for right now. Actually, we're just gonna small in it. Gonna make it small right underneath me, and we'll make me big. For right now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm big, it's big. And then main monitor, I am going to just focus it on these albums, and then we'll make that bigger. Anyway, so this is the Plex server. And on my Plex server, I have scanned in all of these albums into lossless tracks. And so I am going to go albums by title. So I'm going to search for this stuff here. And we're going to look here in the CHs for Charlie's Angels. There's Charmed Life. There's Garth Brooks' The Chase. In between Charmed Life and Garth Brooks' The Chase, I should see Charlie's Angels, and I don't see it. I don't have that movie. I don't have that disc. Awesome. The next one on the stack here is I Am Sam. So go back in here. There's Def Leppard Hysteria and Dan Hartman's single of I Can Dream About You. The alphabet sucks for a lot of things, but for tracking things really fast, we're doing fine. So, I Am Sam. I do not have this. I got this stack here. I got that stack for not a lot of money. So, one of the cool things about this particular movie soundtrack is that it is a bunch of Beatles covers. And so, by a bunch of people. So, Sarah McLachlan, Rufus Wainwright, The Wallflowers, Eddie Vedder, Ben Harper, Sheryl Crow, Ben Folds, The Vines, Stereophonics, The Black Crowes, Chocolate Genius, Heather Nova, Howie Day, Paul Westerberg, woo, Paul Westerberg, Granddaddy, and Nick Cave. Nick Cave is singing Let It Be. So I am very interested in listening to this I Am Sam soundtrack album because I love the Beatles. People ask you if you're a Beatles man or an Elvis man. My answer is the Rolling Stones. But I also love the Beatles, and I love Elvis. And so I am looking forward to listening to the soundtrack of this motion picture. I have not seen this motion picture. I just like soundtracks. So, Reality Bites, a movie with Ethan Hawke, Winona Ryder, and Ben Stiller. And the songs on this, they have a whole bunch of crazy, weird songs that go all the way around. It's a comedy about love in the 90s. So let's see if I've got Reality Bites. No, I do not have Reality Bites. It would be here in between Republic is Ready to Go and the Regatta Mandata Police Tribute album. So excellent. So already there's 3 of the 9 discs that are in here. 2 weeks notice. Sandra Bullock, Hugh Grant. I'm fairly sure I do not have this, but we'll look it up. Television's Greatest Hits, Temple of the Dog. 2 different copies of Pearl Jam. I have both the European release of Pearl Jam and the US release of Pearl Jam. Very important stuff. 10 Summer's Tales, the Tension Me in Love theme, Jonathan Colton, Thing a Week. A lot of T's, because the word "this" appears on a whole bunch of discs in my collection. But I want TWO. So, Twisted Sister, 2 Lights. It'd be after 2 Lights. 2 weeks notice is after 2 Lights. So, look at that. There's 4. All right, Empire Records. This is a multi-disc soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it fell right out. This is why you don't trust people on the internet. There is nothing holding this in. This entire jewel case is fucked. There are no gears in here, nothing to hold that in place. So just good intentions is what was holding that in place. We have a lot to say about that. All right. So Empire Records. It's a seminal movie from the 90s. Do I have the Empire Records soundtrack? I do not. It would be between The Emancipation of Mimi and New Music 4 by 107.7 The End. All right, here is the original soundtrack disc for Walk the Line. This is going to have a bunch of Johnny Cash covers. All right, by Joaquin Phoenix, Reese Witherspoon. These are the actual songs that were sung in the movie. Lots of cool stuff. All right, let's see how badly this is messed up. That's pretty good. The teeth are still in there. All right, do I have Walk the Line? Let's look under W's. These are all in binders over here, by the way. So for CDs, I took a completely different approach. I went for binders, and they're all in binders. And I just throw the jewel case away. I don't need it. Walk by, Wander This World, Walking on Broken Grass, and Ricky Martin's Velve. All right, so guess what I don't have? I don't have Walk the Line. Or rather, I have it now. And here we go. So, I'll pick up some odd things. I hate this movie. I cannot stand The Big Lebowski. I think it is an inspired take on a noir detective, but I fucking hate the script. And I hate the way it goes through there. And I love the Coen brothers, and I love all the actors in this movie. Julianne Moore, one of my favorite actresses of all time, is in this movie as Maud Lebowski. And she's got a memorable entrance, let me tell you. So all the stuff that's going on in here, there's fantastic songs on this, though. There's Nina Simone songs. There's Henry Mancini, the Gypsy Kings doing Hotel California. I love the Gypsy Kings. I've listened to them for 30 years, 30, 40 years now. I've been listening to Gypsy Kings. So there's a Gypsy Kings track on here. I can't get a lot of other places. Lebowski's in there. The gears are good. Is it scratched? It is scratched all to hell. But I have faith that I'll be able to get the tracks off this and scan into my Plex server. All right. I most likely have a portion of the Kids soundtrack because I have some singles from it. And I believe I have the entire... Yeah, I have it. I have the entire album right here. So I don't need this one. It's going to go on my pile. And I got a pile behind me over here that none of you can see. But it's back over yonder. And it's discs that I have received in various collections and lots that I just don't need. So, but I have the Kids soundtrack. I don't need this one. So I'm going to put it over here and we'll see if somebody on the internet wants it. And this is a movie I've never heard of, but let's look at the people in it. Ben Affleck, Sam Rockwell, Megan Ward, French Stewart. All right, music by Not X, Mr. T Experience, The Bouncing Souls, New Bomb Turks, Assorted Jelly Beans, Hepcap, and Sublime, as well as original score bits. I have never heard of this movie. I have never heard of this soundtrack. There are some naughty words on the back of this, so I'm not going to read them all off. But I'm looking forward to this, because this is a whole bunch of stuff from the 90s that I am not familiar with. The CD case is good. The gears are on there. It's holding it in place. That disc is scratched all to hell. However, CD lasers are far more forgiving than DVD lasers. So when something scratches bad, it's probably still going to play, because there's not as much data contained here. And I'm going to rip this anyway. So, all right. So for what I believe was $15, I got 8 CDs. That's 2 a pop. I'm going to confirm it was $15 because I got it off Facebook. I could just go look for it. And I'm going to embiggen this back to where it was. Transform, fit to screen, boom. No, that's the wrong one. That's everything fit to screen. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to reset that transform. Making it small, yeah. Making it real small. Yeah, we want it up there. And this here is my desktop where I am doing the unboxing proper. Heck, why don't I just move that all the way over to the side? See if I can get a little more space out of that. I don't think I can. Oh, I can. Look at that. I can get all of that. I can get that much room. Well, can I get any more on this side? Oh, I can't. Look at that. I got all of it. Get it all. Get all of it. All right. So let's bring me in until you can just see my face. Because that's all you really need to see is my face. I'm not that important in this process. All right. Marketplace. How much did I pay for these CDs? I paid $15. Yeah, $15 for 9 CDs. So not a lot of money. It came within a week. Other than the one disc here I saw that was all beat all to hell. They're in generally good shape, and this is a lot of 90s music, right? It's a whole bunch of movies from the 90s. So combined, I got all of this for $15, $15, $8, and then $15 again. So $38. Giant stack of media. Filled some holes in my collection, and I'm going to get some DVDs out the back end of this because I'm swapping that Venom disc for 4 credits on the swap site. So that is part of the unboxing. There's more to come, believe it or not, because my partner's leaving to go to dance class. This box here, which I got from Amazon, contains materials with which I can rebox things. It's a big box. I just hit the microphone with it. I apologize if you're listening. So I mentioned how I've got a supply of slim cases for Blu-rays and DVDs. What I didn't mention is that this is my last one. I usually buy these in lots of 25 to 100, and I've done a lot of reboxing of late, so this is going to be important, and I'll talk about why it's going to be important in just a minute. This box contains other boxes. It contains air. Nobody really cares about air. It contains that there from Checkout Store, and I'll go into what that is in a moment. And it contains this box, which is full of Blu-ray cases. So I'm going to be very, very careful with the tape on both of these boxes, because there's stuff in here that I don't want to cut. And so we will turn that knife upside down. This is a set. Do not separate it. Yes, correct. And this is a pile of Blu-ray cases that are just like the ones that I was using. I just popped the microphone again. I'm out of control. Let's get that back in the frame the right way. All right. Yeah, so there they are. They're the exact ones I ordered last time. I'm to the point where I just have them saved in my account. When I need more, I buy them. So, exactly the same. Exactly the same. No difference between the two. And these are something that I find very useful when I'm dealing with these slim cases, because you just saw that these cases have one spindle in them. A spindle is this little bit on which you secure the disc. That's what a spindle is. You probably know what a spindle is already. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But for those who don't know, one spindle, and almost all the DVD slim case replacements that I buy. It turns out that I have several hundred double spindle cases over here, and a few extra more with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots on it. And when I have too many discs to fit an otherwise perfect case with the DVDs I need to get in it, I buy these. And I got these in blue because, you know, I do a lot of Blu-rays. So this is a really cheap way to add capacity to one of these cases. It is a soft envelope, soft sleeve rather. It's got really easy polystyrene in here. I like these in particular because I don't have to do a lot of prep for them. And so I'll just take 2 DVDs, swap it right into here. In fact, I'll show you how that works with 2 CDs because they're the same size. Pretend this is a DVD or Blu-ray. I'll just slide it in there. It's protected, no problem. And screw you, Lebowski, but slide that in there, no problem. Takes up not a lot of space. Takes up less, in fact, than the 5mm that I'm going to be putting in this, 5-6mm I'm going to be putting it into. So here's the case I just got. I will secure this round bit here on the spindle. Shut it. And it fits perfectly fine right there on the shelf. And so now I got two discs in the space it would take 1 disc. And it's certainly a lot better than the giant thing on my shelf. And you saw how many movies I have on my shelf. It's important to you know, make as much room as possible. So you print a cover out, or you recycle the cover from the disc you had, and boom, it goes. So now I am prepared to do a lot of reboxing. Why is this important? Because the day after I did all my reboxing and got all the stuff into smaller cases, I found a guy selling a brand new set of all the James Bond Blu-rays for $60. And I talked him down to 50, and he shipped them today. And so I bought them Sunday night. Yesterday, he just kind of didn't do it. Actually, I bought him last night. And he didn't do much of it until today. Today he shipped them out. So for $60, I've got the Blu-ray copy of every James Bond movie except for Never Say Never, because the Blu-ray for that's $100 and it's not included in the official Broccoli Brothers Eon Productions set because it was not made by them. It was made by the screenwriters who had the rights to do Thunderball. And they had specifically purchased the rights to do Thunderball before, I believe, before Broccoli got his hands on everything, or they got it as a result of their contract to do Thunderball. But they can make Thunderball as much as they want until that runs out. And they got Irvin Kershner to direct Never Say Never Again. He's the guy who did Empire Strikes Back, right? He knows a bit about film. And he did what many consider to be a superior remake of Thunderball, even though Thunderball was pretty good. Kim Basinger is not Ursula Andress. Let's just say that. They are not the same actress. They are not on the same level at that point of their careers. Kim Basinger is a damn fine actress and a very good-looking woman. Ursula Andress is an incredible actress and an incredibly good-looking woman. That's my personal choice. I mean, of how she was in 1963, she looked fantastic to me. Seeing her from the lens of 83, 93, 2003, and on. But it's just, I think, a better movie except for the girl. The Bond woman, rather, was better in the original, but everything else about Never Say Never Again was superior to Thunderball, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. But from a mechanical film lover's perspective, I really like that. And I know for a fact that all of those Blu-rays have all of the commentaries on them because I looked it up. I spent most of the day researching whether or not it was a good idea to buy that set, knowing that I had just bought 2 Bond movies, right? And they're shifting to my house in an unavoidable collision. So, Never Say Never, not a problem. I was able to cancel a couple of them, but I am getting one more. I am getting View to a Kill, the DVD of View to a Kill. And so, what I might do is I might swap these 4mm cases I made for all the Bond movies for 5 or 6mm cases. And I'll use the same sleeve. It'll fit the spine just fine. In fact, it might look a little better to have a little more black around it. But and I will just slot in. I will either slot in the DVDs along with the Blu-rays, or I will just put Blu-rays in these. Leave them in the tall case. Just put Blu-rays in, and then dump a whole bunch of them on the swap DVD site. I'm not sure how many I want to do that with just yet, because, as you saw, not a lot of people are looking for Casino Royale. But they might be looking for Thunderball. They might be looking for that Sean Connery collection, 1 to 2. In fact, let's go look it up, shall we? Let's go see if people are looking for that on Swap a DVD. There. Put this back over here. That's exactly what I want. Here I am. And so I am just going to type Sean Connery and see what comes up. Look at that, Volume 1. I have this exact thing. There's some in stock right now because I can just click and request this. But for 6 credits, there's 1 copy and no one is looking for it just yet. So I could easily turn this around for 6 credits. I don't know why it says there's 6 discs in there. There aren't 6 discs in there. There's only 3 discs in there. Someone's gonna get lucky. Someone's gonna get screwed. This is the actual one right here. And yeah, there are no copies of that and no members wishing. But when I put it up for 3 credits rather than 6 credits, it's gonna snap right up. And so I like my chances of moving these over. Oh, look at that! There was a Never Say Never Again was included in a big set there that I could have done like this. So when I get these Blu-rays, I am going to give some serious thought to whether I keep them or swap them or do what I need to do with the DVDs I've got, because I have all of the cover art right here. This is also a DVD sleeve solution I tried. I have thousands of these. Very soft, very thin. It'll hold 2 DVDs and the cover art in 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters of space. All right, and I have a ton of these. They're called disc socks. I kept them in business for a while. They knew me by name when I called them up to say, hey, I need more stuff. And they said, nobody buys as many as you do. And it's like, yeah, you're probably right. But over time, I realized that these are actually made for flipping through. So it sits up there a bit. You flip through kind of like a card catalog, and you need a special case to hold all the cards. And I prefer shelves. I prefer seeing spines on shelves. And that's how I wanted to look at my media collection. So I went back to hard plastic sleeves, and I am keeping a lot of the important stuff that I have unboxed or reboxed in the last year or so, because I have a lot of Doctor Who episodes, and they're slowly rolling those out on Blu-ray. And when I put a Doctor Who episode up here on the swap site, it's gone in a minute. It's gone like that. And I get a couple effective bucks for it, right? But it's not a lot. If I wanted to sell them all on eBay, I could get $40-50 for one of these discs. And given that I bought I think 60 discs off my friend Joe, and he shipped them down from Canada for me in a big, well-protected can of DVDs, and I make my money back. Now, I've spent a bunch of money on Doctor Who. I have almost a complete run. I'm missing 3 or 4 episodes out of Tom Baker's run and an entire season of John Pertwee. But that season is going to be coming out on Blu-ray later this year. And so I've got essentially every release that's ever come out for Doctor Who. And I'm slowly replacing them. And I'm slowly moving them out. See, now look at here. They got the volume 2 up here for 1 credit. That's not right. No. It says there's 1 disc in there. So you could get that for a steal. You go up here on the site. I should get that just because, and then turn around and ship it back for 3 credits. We'll see. But that is my unboxing stream for the night. I am going to go back to the main screen here. You can see that I am the idiot with a microphone. Those are my social media addresses. I stream here on Twitch, SJ Magner. I stream live on YouTube, Scott James Magner. I play games on Steam, and I play games on Discord, and so you find me there as BhagwanX, BhagWanX. Please like, follow, subscribe wherever you find and enjoy this content. Do not subscribe to me on Twitch. That is for people who know what they're doing. You have to pay money for that, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend paying me to babble on like an idiot for an hour and a half about how I like to take things out of boxes and put them in smaller boxes. In fact, I got a giant pile of cardboard sitting over here. It's ridiculous. I'm going to take this out and recycle it immediately. But, yeah. Hang out. Let me know how you feel about unboxing or about movies. I talk a lot about movies because I love them. They're an essential portion of my life because I love movies a lot. and I love watching them, talking about them. I will probably stream some portion of my analysis of these movies as I go through talking about them. And of course, I'll have friends to join me, because why not have friends talk about Doctor Who or James Bond or any kind of social media experience? Why not do that? That sounds like fun. So you like that? Leave me a note in the comments on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. And we'll see what we can get together. I think I do want to watch these movies from start to finish, so. And whether I get to do one a day or not, whether the fatigue sets in, I don't know. Some of these movies are old, right? The first James Bond movie predates the first episode of Doctor Who by a year and a half. So 1962 was Thunderball. Was Doctor No, rather, 1962. And movies have come a long way since 1962, as is our idea of what a leading man is. You could see Daniel Craig walking around as James Bond, and he looks a lot different than Sean Connery. Sean Connery was a bodybuilder and a model. Daniel Craig has been an actor for a long time. He acts. He does acting things. And having him as an actor doing all this stuff, really a big deal as compared to having them as models. And I could talk about that on the stream as well. So that's it. That's my pitch. But if you do want to support the stream, there is a way that you can do so. And it's very easy. It's to buy my books. I am a science fiction author. I write science fiction, and I write about science fiction. And I write games and websites and all sorts of stuff. And whatever I can get paid for, really. But I started a small press called rsentertainment.com. Ars Entertainment, rather. To make sure that other authors can get their books either back into print or in print for the first time because they didn't have any luck with traditional publishing. I don't care if I make money on these books. I want to make good-looking books that people want to read, that people will enjoy reading. So you can buy my books up there. You can buy my books anywhere, right? You can buy them on Amazon.com. You can get them at libraries, BarnesandNoble.com. But you can also buy them on my website. You can also buy a book by my partner Lindsay Johnson, the first in her Runebound series. I'm hard at work when I'm not doing these streams, getting her next book ready for publication. I have published a book of a book of horror poetry by a very talented author named Evan Peterson. He wrote a book of poetry about Frankenstein's monster as told by Frankenstein's monster. It's a fantastic book. It's a great bit of poetry. And I think people are going to like it. I know people are going to like it. People have been buying it since October. And we're going to have even more books showing up on the site by the end of this year. So that's my pitch. I hope that you enjoyed my stream. I certainly enjoyed doing it. I like doing streams like it. And I hope to do more soon. Especially, if I get 24 James Bond movies on Blu-rays. And then you can watch me take them out of boxes and put them in different boxes. Boy, won't that be fun. All right. So it is dinner time for my cats. I should go feed them. Y'all have a great rest of your day. My stream is over.